The conditions this morning for landscape photography aren't exactly optimal. I mean, there's not even a cloud in the sky and it's sub-zero conditions. But there are some very good reasons why I'm still out this morning. Now, before I tell you the reasons why I'm up here, I need to do the most important thing, and that's to actually capture some landscape photographs. So regardless of the conditions, I've made the effort to come up here. I'm going to get my camera out. I'm going to capture some photographs. We're just minutes away from the sun rising above the horizon. And this is going to lead me nicely on to tell you what I'm going to try and photograph this morning. So even though I said conditions aren't exactly optimal, and like I say, there's clear blue sky, but there's a lot of frost on the ground, and that's going to shine up really nicely when that sun comes up. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway. And all those little frosty bits of water will hopefully catch the reflected light. And then for my composition, I've got this beautiful tour. It's no wonder it's one of my favourite places to come. Lots of shapes and patterns, interesting rocks that lead out into the curve down there to the rest of the tour, and then I've got the rest of the landscape. And if I'm lucky, and this is where the bit of a worth taking a chance for, is if that sky there pinks up nicely, it could look really nice. But like I say, minutes away from sunrise, so I'm going to get ready to capture the moment. Regardless of whether I get a picture this morning, this view was well worth the effort of getting up in the morning and making this walk in these freezing conditions. I mean, just look at it. It's absolutely stunning. Well, I'm really happy with this morning, the way it's turned out, and I've got some nice pictures. I mean, I've had better up here, but in terms of what I was expecting, it turned out really well. And this leads me on to one of the things I wanted to talk about this morning, and that's risk versus reward. And this is, the reason I want to talk about it is because it's something I'm considering in my own photography. It was a risk coming up here this morning. I wasn't quite sure how the conditions were going to pan out. I had a kind of vision, so it was a kind of calculated risk, and as it turns out, it's rewarded me with some nice images. But I need to take more risks with my photography. I'm not talking about standing in the cliff tops and in dangerous places, but taking more risks with the conditions, risks with the locations, being more spontaneous. That's what I need to do. And I think, you know, that's something I really need to do for 2020, because every now and again you just get rewarded with some absolutely spectacular conditions, and if you don't take the chance, well, you're never going to get rewarded, are you? And just one last thing I want to quickly talk about, and that's the value of practicing photography. Photography is a skill, and one that really must be practiced. Now, today's Sunday. I was just a couple of days ago down on Friday, I was down at Dawlish Warren Beach, and that was my first trip out to take landscape pictures in over a month, and I have to say, I felt rusty. And the reason I like to practice my photography, and what I mean by practice is, sometimes I just go out just for the fun of it, just to get out and use my camera, and a day where, the conditions might not be optimal, I still think it's good to go out. And there's always value in practicing with your camera. Because I watched a video many years ago now by a guy called John Free. I'll include a link for it in the video description below. And he talks about the value of practicing photography. And for me, it's one of those videos that's always stuck in my mind. I watch a lot of photography videos, but that is one of the, one of the most important videos I've ever watched on photography, and it's always stuck at the back of my mind that I must practice my photography. It's something you've got to keep doing so you're good at it. Well, that's it for me here at Dartmoor National Park. I really hope you enjoyed this little 5-minute photo adventure. And if you did, I'm popping a little playlist up on the screen with all my other 5-minute photo adventures. So if you've got a little bit of time, why not check those out? But until the next one, I'll see you then.